We talked to a Turkish man who spoke English who said he sold everything he had to get here to the United States. Did you have to pay a cartel?
Yes.
How much?
Around 10,000.
10,000?
Yes. In fact, the American people is right, completely true. Who come into this country, they don't know. Well, okay, I'm good, but how if they're not good? How they're killer, psychopath, else? No guarantee of that. Why, no security, no security check, no background check.
Yesterday, a Turkish immigrant who entered the country illegally told Fox News that he was concerned about people entering the country illegally. That, of course, raises one important question. Will Cenk agree with this man simply because he is Turkish? We'll get to that later, but in all seriousness, the New York Times did interesting reporting yesterday when they spoke to immigrants at Trump's rally in the Bronx. And they had similar reservations about people entering the country illegally. Here are some examples. I understand this country is built up of immigrants, said Indiana Mitchell, 47, who said she was from the Dominican Republic. But I came to this country in the right way. I didn't come in through the backyard, I came in through the front door. Rafael Brito, a Queens resident who said he had come to the United States from the Dominican Republic, said he thought the migrant crisis had exacerbated crime. It made it more difficult for his neighbors to get services they needed. The whole neighborhood has changed, Brito, 51, said. And here's what Trump said about immigration at that rally. Take a look.
When I take office, we are going to restore public safety and the rule of law in New York City. That starts with stopping the pouring into our country of millions and millions of illegal immigrants, which are causing a new category of violence called migrant crime. Large numbers of people are coming in from China. And if you look at these people, did you see them? They are physically fit. They're 19 to 25. Almost everyone is a male. And they look like fighting age. I think they're building an army. They had 29,000 people over the last. I think they want to get us from within. They cannot stay. We will immediately begin the largest criminal deportation operation in our country's history.
Let's go back to the first clip of the Turkish immigrants. Cenk, where do you stand with your Turkish brothers?
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you.
Yeah, the problem with Turks is they're a little too honest. By the way, I watched that clip, somebody sent it to me, and I didn't look at the headline because I was in a hurry. And the minute he started talking, I was like, he's Turkish. For two reasons. One, the accent, I could tell Turkish accent. It's like a weird generic accent that you're like doesn't belong to anywhere else. And number two is he was way too honest. So like normally if you're an undocumented immigrant coming in, you should be like, oh yeah, no, everything is safe, everything is good, please let us stay here. But he comes in, he's like, I don't know, we just walk in. What? Where is? I could be crazy, ask murderer, why you don't stop? Okay, anyway, so guys, it's a misnomer, but I am curious about whether we'll have some disagreements on this issue, right? So I think that we do have a significant immigration problem. I think that we have to have a way better way of stopping people at the border. And it's not like we don't stop anybody at the border. We actually apprehend tons of people at the border. It's not like we have no process. We do have a process. So he says, oh, well, they didn't do a check on me. Yeah, that's because you got through. If you got caught, then they would have had to check on you, right? So it's not exactly right. And you have to come back and do an asylum hearing if you're seeking asylum. If you're not seeking asylum, you're just gonna get returned right away. So I'm kidding around that it's perfectly honest. It's not, he doesn't understand the system. Unsurprising, he's an undocumented immigrant, he just got here. Okay, so, and there are things that are clear that we all agree on. Trump's language is super dangerous. When he talks about that they are building an army inside of America and that the enemy is within, oof. Like if you have no sense of history or context, you might not understand why, like even then you could get that it's hyperbolic. There's no army inside the country, that's ridiculous. And you could be concerned about this. But if you have history and context, then you know this is what every demagogue has said before they did something vicious to immigrants. It's what every beginning of fascism sounds like. And so it's super dangerous language, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Trump or Biden or whatever, who's right about immigration. That's a different topic. We know what's wrong. Okay, Jules.
I mean, I have a little bit of a different take on this, which is that even stories like this frustrate me to no end, because the facts about undocumented immigration are that most undocumented immigrants are not coming through the border. They're overstaying their visas. And people who engage in this topic will never acknowledge that. Most of the people who talk about this online don't know that. And there's this hyper focus on immigrants from South and Central America crossing the border and like ruining the country. And not only is that just overtly racist and pretty dumb, but it's also just not true by the numbers. Like the number of undocumented immigrants not from South and Central America is higher than those from South and Central America. Like I said, the number of visa overstays is the predominant way that people stay in this country without documentation. So I feel like there's topics like this that get so where essentially we allow the right to lead the conversation, because yeah, there are reforms that we can make to immigration, but a lot of them should be much more focused around speeding up the visa process, speeding up the immigration process, hiring more immigration lawyers, making the process less not just difficult, but vetted better if that's the point of vetting who's coming into the country. So I have like this big problem with how stories like this are always framed, because like, okay, I mean, this guy got in, without documentation. Like, okay, he got in without documentation. It's not that surprising for immigrants to say, well, we're the last ones. Like I myself am a immigrant. I was born in Ukraine and my family immigrated here in the 90s. We came as refugees, and even members of my family who are pretty conservative will say like, well, yeah, we came this way. We came through this chain migration through one family member, but nobody else should be allowed to do that. And it's such a bizarre perspective, but it's such a common perspective. It's like, I got mine, screw you, you're not gonna get yours. The whole way that we talk about this, the whole way that we address this is frustrating, and like personally, I see this happen in my family, in my life, and it's kind of embarrassing and frustrating to see.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Jules, because I know someone who works at USCIS and oversees legal review on chain migration and the applications and the paperwork behind that. And that department, from what I understand, is largely staffed by immigrants because they have a good understanding of the system. And there will be people in there, this person told me, who will see an application, know it's valid, and seek to deny it anyway with that same mindset. Well, I came in the right way. It's like, no, they're doing it. They're trying to do it the right way. And it's a huge a quagmire, because that mindset is even in the legal review process, creating an even more broken system that people are trying to navigate because they want to be here. They want to make this country better and be part of something. It's really sad.
Yeah, so I have the same experience. So let me double down on a couple of things. One, my uncle got us all into the country. He was a doctor, and we owe him everything. But he voted for Trump in 2016 because even though he knew that Trump was trying to ban Muslims from the country, and he was a Muslim immigrant to the country. And this is a common phenomenon where once folks get here, sometimes they're the biggest advocate of stopping other people. And so it's heartbreaking, but it definitely happens. Second of all, is a lot of this racial? Keep it real, guys. So when I ran for president, I ran as a naturalized citizen. It's in the word, it's in the phrase, naturalized citizen, right? And the number one response I got from the right wing was, well, you don't belong here, get out of the country. Wait a minute, I did it the right way. I came in through the front door, we applied, legal immigrant, and said, I don't care, you're not even a citizen. You're a Turk, you're not a citizen, all right? Like, so come on, you're really worried about economy? You're worried about jobs? We have record low unemployment. Keep it real. Okay, now having said that, it doesn't mean you let everybody in. It doesn't mean that you don't have a right process. It doesn't mean that you can't have a rational debate about what the numbers should be, okay? But demagoguing is definitely not the way to go. We got an amazing bonus episode for you guys. So number one, have some politicians done AI or photoshopping? What are you looking at me for? Oh, we'll talk about it in the post game, okay, in the bonus episode for the members. So we got some hilarious pictures of me and others on the show that we want to show you. We got a couple of clowns for you guys always, right? And I'm going to tell you why I think Tom Cotton or Nikki Haley might be the best pick for Trump for progressives. Super weird, but there's a really good reason. tyt.com/team to join up, or hit the join button below, and we'll see you there.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.